So I rejetted the carb on the MB200 to try to get a better top speed out of it and make it quicker from 0 to 30. And it went from in the 6-second range to 5.1 second 0 to 30. All right, did 0 to 30 in 5.01. So it helped 0 to 30, but the top speed stayed the same, 32 miles per hour. Because it still only does 32 miles per hour. So I think this bike, to gain more top speed, needs valve springs. I'm pretty sure valve springs are holding it back, because even with the jetted carb and the header pipe, it still only does 32 miles per hour. So I think I'm going to swap out these valve springs for these 18-pound valve springs. We'll drop these down in there, and we'll see if it makes a difference in top speed. Maybe it'll give it a little bit more RPM potential with the heavier valve springs, because you would think it would turn a little more RPMs with the header pipe and the slide carburetor. So I'm going to add those valve springs and we'll see what happens. Okay, so let me remove this spark plug so I can fill the combustion chamber with some string so the valves don't fall down into the cylinder. So the spark plug looks pretty decent. It's not running too rich or too lean. So let me pull off this valve cover. So hopefully with the engine on the bike I can get the springs in there. It's pretty tight in here with the frame. Okay, let's see what we got. Open up these rocker arms. Or pull off these rocker arms. Oops. Looks like the valves are canted a little bit. It's almost like a Hemi head. I mean, the valves look like they're at an angle a little bit in this engine. So let me fill up this combustion chamber with some string to make sure these valves don't fall down in the cylinder. So let me pull this lash cap off, hopefully. There we go. See if I can pop these springs out. Oh, these are super light springs, you can tell. I mean, they're just super, super light. Oh yeah. I mean, these springs are weak. I can almost guarantee this thing's gonna have a lot more RPM potential now without these light springs. So you can see the stock spring, and then the 18 is a lot thicker. Maybe a little shorter, but a lot thicker. A lot more stiff. Yeah, these things are pretty weak. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, there's one. We pop the intake side down in there. Alrighty. So there we go. Reinstall this lash cap. Alright, so there's that. Install these rocker arms. Okay, let me get this thing up at top dead center. Put a screwdriver in here. Watch the piston come up. So let me set these things at 3 thousandths. All right, so there's 3. All right, so 3 will go in there. And I don't think a 4 will. Nope. So that one's good. Okay, I'm gonna do the exhaust side. So there's a 3. All right, and a 4 won't fit. All right, so we're good to go. Let me pop this valve cover back on. That should do it to it. Alrighty. Install this spark plug, and we should be good to go for a test ride. I'm not sure if it'll beat the time from 0 to 30, 5.1 seconds, but I think it might beat top speed with more RPM potential. We'll see. Okay, got the 18-pound springs in. These stock springs are super light, so I'd be surprised if this bike doesn't gain some kind of top speed or a little bit of RPM potential, because those springs are light, man. Those gotta limit the RPM of the engine. So let's take this thing out for a 0 to 30 in top speed and see if it makes any difference. Top speed of 40 miles an hour. So beat it by 8 miles an hour. Let me do a 0 to 30. I did 0 to 30 in 5.01. Same as before. So with the 18-pound valve springs, the MB200 gained 8 miles per hour. It still did the same 0 to 30 around the 5-second range. So I'm gonna have to adjust the carb a little more to get some more 0 to 30 out of it. It still hesitates just a little bit. So I think I need to raise the needle a little bit more. Definitely has a lot more RPM potential now. Gained 8 miles per hour just with valve springs. So that makes a big difference.